What up, peeps? I know I'm late as hell, but it is what it is. I'm here now. Okay? Thank you for tuning into another chapter of Books and Brown Liquor. It's your girl Tanya, and I'm here to talk about books. So, this is not a monthly wrap up because I haven't done one of those in literally months. Okay? This is my favorite books of the summer. And the summer was kind of rough for me because I came across a lot of books I did not like. And I was DNFing like a mug. Do I feel bad? Nope. Okay, but so this is my book. Oh God. Okay, so forgive me, I'm a little rusty, but yes, these are my favorite books of the summer. Okay, and the reason I'm doing this is because a lot of these books were creepy. And I think that they would be good recommendations for creepy book season, my favorite season, fall, which is also known as creepy book and creepy movie season. All right, so here we go. My favorite books of the summer. Yay, lots of creepiness. So the first book, oh my gosh, I know I'm dramatic. My first book is The Reformatory by Tananarive Due. She's one of my favorite authors. I think that she is one of the most underrated authors that not enough people talk about, in my opinion. Now, lately, I have been hearing a lot more buzz because she wrote The Reformatory and also, what was it called? The Wishing Pool, which is a book of short stories. So she's been getting a lot more traction, but I need you to know that if you come across a Tananarive Due book, give it a chance. It's worth it. So, The Reformatory, oh my God. 5 stars, okay? Tananarive Due does such a good job of blending so many different elements that give you an amazing story with layers. So you're not only is it a good book, but it's a good book with a lot of depth, all right? So first of all, the first horrific element is that this book takes place in 1950s segregated, racist ass Northern Florida. It takes place in the fictional town of Graceland. And our main character is Robert Johnson. His name is Robert, 12-year-old boy. Our main character, he's already dealing with racism. Racism has heavily impacted his family. Like I said, 1950s segregated South, okay? So if life ain't hard enough as it is, our boy Robert, he's minding his business, he's living his life. He's already dealing with a lot in his life. We're dealing with racism, harassment from the white folk. His mother has recently passed, and then his father had to leave town because his life was in danger on some racist stuff too. So life is already hard enough as it is, okay? Robert is going through it. And then Robert has an older sister by the name of Gloria. One day, Gloria is being picked on, or she's being harassed by this young white man. He's a teenager, he's a young man. He's like the football star of the town. He's basically the town's golden boy, and he's messing with her, and he won't leave her alone. So Robert, as any brother would do, he's sticking up for his sister, and tensions rise. Robert ends up getting into an altercation with this boy and he kicks him. Okay? I got a tickle in my throat. Hold on. Sorry. So Robert kicks this boy. Now, mind you, this boy is like twice his size. Nobody got hurt seriously. Nobody's life is in danger. He basically kicked him. And as you know, life in the South for Black people was not fair. So Robert is sent to go live at the Reformatory, which is a school for troubled boys. Now, when I say troubled boys, I mean boys that get in trouble with the law. Boys that are have broken the law in some capacity. Our 12-year-old main character, Robert, gets sent to the Reformatory. So that alone is already unfair. But word on the street is the Reformatory is haunted. Haunted like a mug, okay? So there's a lot of stories about the Reformatory. The Reformatory has a very bad reputation. Some boys go in and they never come out. Nobody really gets a clear answer as to why, but there's a lot of stories about the Reformatory. It's a bad place, okay, a very bad place. So, poor little Robert. And then when he gets there, like I said, it's haunted, and he discovers that on his own very, very well. And I tell you, she does such a good job of blending the emotions of the characters with the paranormal activity, and it's like creepy, and it's such a good story. I was hooked from page 1 all the way to the end. I was so happy at the end. I can't really go into detail, but like, you're rooting for this boy. He's going through a lot. And then on top of that, his sister, she's on the outside trying to get him freed, you know, the legal way. But as you know, like I said, life is unfair. So she's doing her best on the outside. He's doing his best to survive on the inside, because the Reformatory has monsters. Let's just say that. And they're not all paranormal. That's all I can say without giving too much. But let's just say the boys in the Reformatory are severely mistreated. They're abused, they're mistreated. So like I said, not only is it haunted, but there's monsters that are not ghosts as well. So anyway, I recommend this story. The story is so well written. It'll have you gripped. I mean, there were times I was like, Robert, please, please, I want him to make it so bad. Like, but it's really, really good. And by the time you get to the end of the book, it's such a good ending. This is an amazing book. And I think you get the point. 5 stars, hell yes, I recommend it. Moving on. Another one of my favorite books was obviously The Wishing Pool by the same author, Tananarive. It's a collection of short stories written by this author, and they're all like, there's a hint of paranormal in some of them, and she does a really good job of just making you feel like scared, and she does it in a way where you care about the characters and you don't want anything bad to happen to them. Ironically, one of the short stories in The Wishing Pool takes place in the imaginary town of Gracetown. So that was really interesting. Tananarive, y'all. I recommend it. 5 stars. The Wishing Pool. Moving on. Woo! The Last Housewife by Ashley Winstead. Yeah, if you like cult vibes, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on YouTube, but damn, can I say that word? If you like cult vibes and Handmaid's Tale type vibes, you will love this book. So our main character, she's an aspiring writer. She's like working on a novel. The book opens up where she recently discovers that one of her classmates from college has been unalived, as they say on YouTube, because you can't say the real word. So she feels like she can't just sit here and do nothing, because the unaliving of her college classmate is very similar to an unaliving that took place years prior while she was attending said college, if that makes sense. So she decides she's gonna go back to her college town, and she teams up with a journalist, and they're gonna do some digging, because she suspects that these unalivings are not a coincidence. They are absolutely connected. So the story is told in 2 timelines. The present timeline, where our main character is investigating the events that took place and all the shit she plans on doing about it. I can't get into it without giving it away. Trust me, it's good. And it also tells the story from the past timeline, when she was in college with these 2 classmates while they were still alive. And the things that took place at this college and what these girls got into, which is kind of culty. Oh my God, I don't want to give it away. I'm trying to say it without giving it away. It's really good. These young girls, they find themselves in a situation where, it's cult vibes, okay? She found herself in a bad situation. You know, when you're young, you're impressionable, and the older rich man makes you an offer you can't refuse, and why not, you know? And then they get led down this dark path, and they find themselves in a very bad situation they can't get out of. Now, eventually, she does make it out of this bad situation. very, very bad, culty, Handmaid's Tale type situation. But her two friends don't necessarily make it out. So after the second friend is unalived, she decides not only is she going to go back to the hometown and investigate, but we're going to get to the bottom of this and expose, oh damn, what's really going on. I know that was vague as fuck, but I don't want to give too much away. It's a fucking good ass book. 5 stars. So if you like culty vibes, if you like Handmaid's Tale, if you like a story where the little ladies decide they're gonna go up against the patriarchy, this is your book, okay? The Last Housewife, Ashley Winstead. Hell yes. Moving on. The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. I found myself reading more and more of this author. I like this book a lot. This book really reminds me of, if you like It by Stephen King, I think you would like this book, but it's not as gory. It's not as, you know, Stephen King is the master of darkness, okay? It's not as dark, but it's definitely giving creepy vibes. These group of friends, and it's kind of like It, because it's a group of friends and there's like one girl and it's all a group of boys. They hang out, they ride their bikes, they do all that good shit. And then they stumble upon a creepy, there's a creepy element in the town. And people are being picked off, and then they kind of leave behind a chalk figure after this unaliving takes place. A lot of stuff goes down. I can't give it away, but a lot of stuff goes down during their childhood. They all go their separate ways. And when they come back as adults, they realize the Chalk Man is back. Okay? That's all I can say. Good book. So if you liked It, you would definitely enjoy The Chalk Man. Good creepy vibes. Perfect for creepy season. Yay! Okay. Moving on. Ooh! Sundial by Catriona Ward. I repeat, Sundial by Catriona Ward. I think she's most known for The Last House on Needless Street. I never read that book. I don't really care right now because Sundial is the book, okay? Let me tell you. So our main character, the book starts out where she's going through, she's in a bad marriage. Her husband's an asshole, straight up. She's in a bad marriage, she's sick of his shit, and if that isn't stressful enough, she has 2 daughters. One of her daughters is displaying some really weird, disturbing behavior. So her and her daughter have a talk, and she's like, yo, what up with that? Like, why you doing weird serial killer type shit? Like, what up? And she decides that it's time for her daughter to know the truth about her past. So the Sundial is the ranch in the middle of the Mojave Desert in which our main character grew up. So when she goes into her past, the ranch that she grew up on and the shit that she grew up around, you're like, what the fuck? All I'm saying is the apple don't fall far from the tree, okay? You're disturbed by your daughter's behavior because it's familiar? Hint, hint. So, yeah, she decides it's time to take her daughter back to Sundial so she can show her where she came from, so to speak. And that is when she goes into this whole deep, dark past of how she grew up on this crazy ass ranch, the shit that went down, and you know, like why you might be like a little bit psychotic. You know what I mean? Like, but it's really good. I promise you it's good. I'm trying not to give too much, but it's a really good story. It was very captivating. I could not put this book down. Because you think, yeah, we're just gonna take you back home and you know, that's the old daddy, that's daddy's old apple tree and that's the porch where we used to drink iced tea. You're not gonna be thinking about, you know, weird experiments on animals and how we did all these weird things, you know. So you should probably learn about this because it seems like you might be a little touched too. But anyway, Mama loves you. Yeah, Sundial by Catriona Ward. Ooh. The next book. Diava by Jennifer Marie Thorne. I repeat, Diava by Jennifer Marie Thorne. I was like, Diava, what does that mean? So basically, this story is about a family. It's a whole family vacation. They go to vacation. They go on vacation to Tuscany, Italy. And they stay in this beautiful villa. And again, what does Diavola mean? Well, it means devil in Italian. Isn't that wonderful? So basically, the name fits. The name fits. Devil. So, you know, our main character is like the black sheep of the family. And she goes on this vacation with her family. This is the most toxic family ever. And she's the black sheep. You know, she's the butt of all the jokes and, you know, all that you know, the backhanded compliments and the uncomfortable conversation where she's always the one put on the spot. And I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? But anyway, so they go to this beautiful villa in Tuscany, Italy. And unbeknownst to them, it's haunted. And everybody in the town knows that it's haunted. Because, you know, when they go to town and be like, yo, let's go get some gelato. The people be like, you know, so everybody in town knows y'all staying in the most haunted place in the town, but they don't really want to get involved. So anyway, they go to the Tuscan villa. It's beautiful. They're drinking wine. You know, there's bread and pasta and all that good shit. And you're thinking they're going to be, you know, eating gelatos in the sun and looking at the Tuscan sunset. But slowly but surely, the atmosphere in the villa starts to get real uncomfortable. I think this is a really good haunted story because I love when the paranormal activity is turned up, like turned up for real. Like when the people be like, did you hear that noise? Or, you know, was that a shadow? No. This ghost is like, you thought you were getting sleep tonight. Oh, you're so cute with your false sense of security. No, bitch, not tonight. This house is haunted like a mug, and I enjoyed every minute of it. But you know what? You know what kills me? The main character is usually the first one to notice that something is not right, and they try to say something to the other family members, and the other family members be like, you've been drinking, you're not sleeping well, are you sure? Really? You know what I'm saying? And then when the shit starts going down, they're like, oh my God, help. That's all I'm gonna say. But hell yes, I recommend it. I definitely recommend it. Diavola definitely lives up to its name. Yeah. This was, I give it a 4.5. But it's already hard enough going on vacation with your toxic family. And then on top of that, you throw in a haunted house too. I mean, ain't nobody sleeping. That's all I'm gonna say. 4.5, I recommend it, hell yes. Okay. Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. Oh, yeah. So, do you guys ever see those videos on YouTube where people be like, mermaids are real. Mermaid caught on tape. Mermaid caught on video in fucking Iceland. Mermaid caught on tape in Africa. Mermaids exist. So the age-old question is, are mermaids real? Do mermaids really exist? Do they really exist? Are mermaids real? So guess what these people do? That's right, you guessed it. They go on a boat and they go out into the ocean off the coast of California because they want to know, are mermaids real? And if mermaids are real, we want to catch it. We want to catch it on tape. We want documentation that mermaids are real. Yeah, that's what we want. We want to give the people what they want. So guess what? They go out into the ocean and let's just say they get all the answers they were looking for. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Ariel ain't in the ocean singing, okay? Oh, oh. No, no. Ariel is not what they find, okay? Let's just say they get their answers and everybody don't make it back for Christmas. That's all I'm gonna say. Moving on. But okay, hold up. Let me back up. I ain't moving on yet. Let me tell you something. What's really crazy to me is like Disney does a really good job of taking disturbing, creepy ass stories and turning them into fairy tales with happy endings. Because there is a mermaid story way before Ariel, and it's the creepiest story. Disney didn't tell you. So, like I said, when you hear the stories about the mermaids, that bitch ain't down there singing, oh, no. So again, they get their answers. Those of them that make it back. Anyway. And my favorite book. Oh, this is my favorite one. Let me tell you, I couldn't wait to get to this. We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluwer. Kluwer? We Used to Live Here by Marcus Kluwer. This is the best one of all, okay? Let me paint the picture for you. Rural Oregon, middle of nowhere Oregon. A woman and her partner. They buy a fixer-upper. They're investing in property. They're fixing it up so they could flip it and make some dough, right? The American dream. So one day, our main character is home alone. You know, her partner is out doing whatever. She's home alone. And she gets a knock at the door. And she opens the door, and it's a man and his family. A man, his wife, and his 3 children. And he says, hello, I know this is so unorthodox, but I used to live here. Oh, I spit, sorry. I used to live here. And I would really appreciate it if I could just let my family in and we could just take a look around. Do you mind? And she'd be like, well, I'm a little uncomfortable. First of all, if you're uncomfortable, go with that. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. But she doesn't want to let them in. She's one of those people that doesn't know how to say no. So much to her chagrin. Now, initially, she doesn't want to let them in, but she was going to say no. But their little girl, she looks so disappointed, you know? And the wife, she looks very, what's the word? What do you call it? Pious, religious. So she doesn't want to disappoint them. So because she doesn't like to say no, she lets them in. Now my thing is, if you used to live here, don't you already know what the inside looks like? Really? But anyway, she lets them in, much to her chagrin, because she doesn't want to disappoint the little girl because she looks so sad. So she lets them in. And your boy, he comes in and, you know, he's like, oh, I remember this hallway. Oh, I remember this closet over here, and the staircase is right where it used to be, and okay. So she's like, oh, okay. He is familiar with the house. First of all, you just described every 2-story colonial in America. I'm not impressed. But she is like, you know what? He is familiar with the house. So you guys go ahead and roam by yourself, and I'm going to get back to my DIY project. What? What the fuck? What? So yeah. She lets her guard down because he recognizes a fucking hallway and a staircase. And it's not weird at first, you know? So she lets her guard down. She goes back to her DIY project, you know? They're not gonna kill me and murder me and rob me. She goes on about her business. And then after he's, you know, walked all around the house and had his way about every room, he says, do you mind if we take a look at the basement? What the fuck you need to go in the basement for? I don't understand. Like, no. And she's like, I don't think that's a good idea. He's like, but I really want to go in the basement. Why would you need to go in the basement? Do you have fond memories of checking the fuse box? What the fuck you need to go in the basement? So this is the part where things start to get weird. That's all I'm saying. But I feel like this book, it's such a good book because the main character is so unnerved with all the events that start taking place that she starts to question her own reality. This is one of those books where you start questioning your own reality. It's mind bending, it's reality bending. You be like, is today Tuesday? Today's Tuesday, but like, it flips her whole world upside down, okay? And very, very, very quickly, she wishes she said no. So my advice to you is, if someone ever knocks on your door and they say they want to come in because they used to live here, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't care how cute that little girl is. I don't care if the wife looks like she prays every day and she rocking her little Jesus piece. Don't do it, okay? Because if you don't like to say no, you gonna learn today why you should. Okay, 5 stars. 5 stars. We used to live here. And I was looking at reviews online and there were some people, my bad, that boy on his skateboard. There were some people that were saying that they felt like the ending was confusing. They had questions. I'm gonna tell you right now, the ending is such a mindfuck, but there are no questions. Your questions are answered, they're just not the answers you wanted. That's all I can say, okay? Hell yes, I recommend it. This book is good. But like I said, if somebody knocks on your door, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? All right. So those are my book recommendations. No, well, yeah, they're book recommendations, but those are also my favorite books of the summer. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna say it, okay? Like, I hit a reading slump this summer. I started a whole bunch of books and for some reason, I could not get into it. I'm gonna tell you right now, I know I've said this before and I'm gonna say it again. Just because a book is trending on TikTok, it don't mean it's a good book, okay? Don't fall for it. Don't believe the hype. Them books be whack, okay? You know why? Let me tell you. I got some DNFs and normally I don't do this, but you need to know. You need to know. Some of these books are bullshit. That's mean. I know that's mean. That's just my opinion. So I tried to read House of Hollow. I forgot the name of the author, it don't matter. House of Hollow, a girl goes missing and her sisters are trying to find her, and I believe she possibly is trapped in another realm, and I thought it would be like fantasy, dark fantasy, but to me it was very PG-13 and I just could not get into it. Sorry. Another book I DNF'd was It Will Be Just Us by Joe Kaplan. The house is haunted, all the shit I like, but it was boring. It was really slow. I couldn't get into it. Sorry, DNF. The Spite House. I know. I had such high hopes, but The Spite House, it's supposed to, this man is on the run and he gets paid to stay in a haunted house because the woman that owns the house wants proof. She wants documentation that ghosts are real. So she pays this man to stay in the most haunted house in Texas. That sounds like it should be right up my alley, right? It just didn't hit. It was like stuff was happening, but it just didn't feel cohesive. I couldn't get into it. I tried. I got more than halfway through the book, but I couldn't do it, all right? DNF. Okay, DNF. And then this other book that is really, really, really popular on TikTok. Credence by Penelope Douglas. Ugh, Credence. I said it. So many people love this book. Now, I'm not really into romance like that, but this book is like a dark romance. I'm not really into romance like that. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe that's on me. Okay? But I've read my share of smut. I am no stranger to smut. Okay? But this book right here, there's a difference between smut and cringe. Okay? Let me tell you why it's cringe. Because our main character is a young girl. She's 17 years old, but like she's about to be 18 in like 5 minutes. Okay? She's like almost 18. And she goes to live with her uncle. Okay? Her uncle. Okay? And there's vibes. There's vibes. It's not the age that gets me. Because I ain't gonna lie. An older man, I ain't mad. I ain't mad at that. You know what I'm saying? I see he looked like he work out. He got that salt and pepper goatee. I get it, girl. I get it. But he's her uncle. And then, I know it's not her blood uncle. It's her father's step brother. But it's still an uncle dynamic. And I think it's weird. But that's just me. And then, as if that wasn't enough, his sons, they want her too. You know, her cousins. Again, that's my opinion, okay? I've read my share of smut. I read some Zane. I read Eric Jerome Dickey. If you know, you know. Rest in peace to the late, great EJD, okay? And if you know about Pleasure by Eric Jerome Dickey, you know what I'm talking about. So I'm no stranger to smut. I can dig smut, okay? Like, you ever be reading a book that's steamy, like real steamy, and you're reading the pages in the book and it's so steamy, you look around because you don't want people to think you nasty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm no stranger to smut. I love a good steamy scene. But the fact that it's an uncle is just weird to me. I couldn't do it. But for those of you that love the book, I think that's great. And I'm happy that you found your book, and I hope you enjoyed it while drinking wine with your pinky out. But not me, sorry. The other book that I had to DNF that's really popular on TikTok. I know, I'm sorry. I'm about to break hearts. Only for the Weak by Natasha Benson. So many people love this book, and I think that's great, but not for me. Not for me. All they're doing is fucking all day. They ain't doing nothing else but fucking. His toes pointed at the ceiling all day, every day. I just couldn't get into it. But for those of you that loved it, stay nasty, okay? So those are my DNFs. Those are my book recs. Those are my DNFs. And regardless of what's popular on TikTok, if you love it, love it. If you don't, that's cool too. But I was just sharing my 2 cents. So no hard feelings. No hard feelings. So anyway, as always, thank you for watching. I wish you good reading. Bye. चर्चे मेरे सारी राहों में मैं लहरों में सितारों